Hello, everybody, and welcome to our incoming sixth grade virtual night. Think I might already be frozen. Think I'm back. I specifically came to the Innovation Center tonight. This is Miss Duffett, hoping that this would work without a flaw. Still a little glitchy. We're working through that. But again, welcome to our incoming sixth grade parent information night. We are so happy for those of you that are joining us live right now. And I know some people will watch this back later. I do have on with me our middle school SAGE teachers. Some are in the chat. Some are going to be on the screen tonight to share some information with you. Please feel free to, I'm going to put up Ms. Schaefer here. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. If you've got any questions as we go along, we may answer it as we're going, and we may come back to it at the end, but we will be monitoring the chat and trying to answer your questions as best that we can. So I am going to kick it off here and add the presentation. All right. All right, so the agenda for this evening is we're going to introduce the teachers, talk about our structure of our day. All of this as of right now too is a typical day at SAGE right now. Not saying it's completely set in stone for next year for sure, as you know, things happen, maybe changes in some scheduling, things like that, but pretty much the norm of our day. We're going to talk about a little bit about our unit of study options. Your students will not be choosing those now, but choosing those later. And we'll restate that again when we get to that point. We'll talk a little bit about our badging system, how we kind of track the progress of our students in middle school. Give you some information on how to stay in contact and stay up to date with us and all of our goings on in middle school SAGE. Talk a little bit about, again, I know there might be a little bit of nerves sending your fifth graders off to the sixth grade center and then your fifth grade SAGE students up to us. The good news at SAGE, just one floor above. So it's all the same. But we're going to talk a little bit about how to make that a successful transition. And then we'll do some more question and answer time at the end if we haven't gotten to any questions that anybody might have. So I am going to bring on Miss Owsley with me. Getting to her.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hey. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. So our middle school SAGE team, we have 9 teachers. So it's the largest team of the 3 levels, and your student will have multiple SAGE teachers. You may have been familiar with the teacher they spent most of the day with and 1 unit of study teacher, but when they come up to middle school, they get 2 unit of study choices. That's tricky to do. 2 for each semester, so 4 total. So throughout their year at the 6th grade center and then 2 years in 7th and 8th grade of middle school, you'll get to know lots of us. So Mr. Adamson, Ms. Duffett, Dr. Hutchinson, Ms. Coe, Ms. Owsley, Ms. Ruckel, Ms. Schaefer, Ms. Torres, and Ms. Turner. And you'll see many of us as the evening goes on, and we look forward to seeing you in the fall as well.
All right.
Great job, Ms. Owsley.
And I want to thank Mrs. Schaefer also for the lovely presentation. I know the video didn't quite work the way we wanted it to at the beginning. Ms. Schaefer, we're going to get that figured out one of these days. I don't know what it does. It worked great. It worked great in practice. Always worked great in practice. All right. And she did this lovely presentation for us too. So I want to give her that little shout out. All right, Miss Owsley, kicking you out. And I am going to bring on Dr. Hutchison to join me.
Hi there.
And I'm going to do this. All right.
So I want to talk a little bit about the structure of our day. This may change depending on the day that your child is assigned to SAGE, but generally these are the pieces. They may move around a bit depending, like I said, the day and the ways that our middle schools structure what days you come. But we'll have an arrival. We'll come in and you'll meet with your IQ teacher. That's our homeroom teachers that you'll be assigned when you come to SAGE. And so you'll have about 20 minutes with them where you might do some morning work, do some check-ins, may have some effective time. And then we'll move on to our unit of study 1 for about an hour, a little over an hour. And we'll move to lunchtime then, come back to unit of study 2. and then we'll start Guilds. Guilds is a program that allows students to explore something they're interested in. And so they will work with other students based on their interest. They'll create proposals. We'll do a lot of digging into things that they like and they want to do. And we talk about the academic side of these interests. And then we dig in, and they create projects that last the majority of the year, and they love to show those off. And we actually just had our opportunity to show off the work that they did in Guilds. And then they'll come back to their IQ group for different pieces. We may have parts of affective lessons, critical problem solving, or STEM projects as well. And then they'll dismiss in the afternoon around 1:40 to go back to their home schools.
Correct. And Guilds is an acronym. It stands for Gifted Unique Individuals Learning Diverse Skills. And so that kind of gives the students that ownership of, learning something and digging in deeper to something that they're passionate about. And that's part of our day too, for our structure that we have to offer multiple units of study and that time for the students to really, get their hands-on experiences here and really get to explore lots of different things while they're in middle school. Dr. Hutchinson, you have anything else to add?
That's it.
I like the thumbs up. Good job. You did excellent, friend. Okay, kicking you out now. Love saying that to you guys. I'm going to kick you out of this show. And I am going to bring on Mrs. Torres. There she is. Hello.
Hi, everybody. So glad you can make it. I'm going to share with you just a little bit about our units of study. A couple of things to keep in mind, like Ms. Owsley stated earlier, is that in middle school, students actually have 2 units of study versus the one that they've previously had, and they switch at semester. So throughout a school year, a student would have the opportunity to take 4 different units of study. And also note that they will not be choosing those units of study until they come back in the fall. So they'll have lots of time to process and think about it. With our middle school units of study, many of them build on units from elementary, but also we have many units that are completely different, and opportunities to take advanced level when they get into 7th and 8th grade in some of these too. So as you can see on the screen, there are several different examples, from 3D printing to architecture, Arduinos, little microcontrollers. We have a broadcasting unit, Destination Imagination and First Lego League, forensic science, graphic design, simulated adventure, zoology, all kinds of different units. Our main goal is to provide units of study that are very diverse and really meet the needs of all the students and their interests. So they'll have some great opportunities to, have those real world experiences and have a better idea of what type of classes they want to take in the future.
That's excellent, Mrs. President. Say we just like to give them a lot of real world experiences as they're making their choices here at Sage, to kind of prepare them for what they might want to continue studying as they continue through school. So when they go to the real middle school, 7th and 8th grade, maybe they get into a different type of elective class or an MTSS class where they can continue to work on something that they've learned or build upon in Sage. I do see in the comments here, somebody has asked, will there no longer be a Spanish curriculum? Correct. Once the students come to the middle school floor, Spanish is no longer part of our schedule or our curriculum. So that's a little bit different.
And we do that because there are opportunities to take foreign language in 7th and 8th grade, and then some introductory units in 6th grade at their home school. So that's why we don't offer it any longer at Sage.
Very good. Thank you, Mrs. Torres. It's the only question I see so far in there about units of study. So I think you've done an excellent job, Mrs. Torres. Now I'm going to kick you out of my show.
Goodbye.
They love it when I take this show over and say my show. I'm kicking you out of my show, and I am going to bring on Mr. Adamson. There he is. He's outside enjoying this very summer-like weather today. And he is going to talk a little bit about our badge system.
Okay. Our badging system at the middle school level takes care of 2 things. Number one, it takes care of the educational part of it. So we don't have grades, of course, in the Sage Center, or especially in the middle school. What we do is we give badges based on what they do within their units of study. So if they complete a task to a satisfactory level, they'll earn the badge. And I'm going to give you a little bit of an example. I teach forensic science. One of the badges I teach about is fingerprinting. If they are able to do the fingerprinting and do the lab and put in the effort and find the answers I want them to find, then they will earn their badge for that. Each unit of study you'll be able to earn up to 10 badges. So there'll be 10 badges in each unit of study. So that's the academic educational part of it. We also have a behavioral part that we really want them to learn about and look at as well. We look at 5 different areas, and again, we're looking at real world stuff. So we want them to think about the middle school area as kind of a job, as a workplace, so that they can go in and get as much information and also learn what a workplace looks like. So we give badges each about 3 times a semester based on 5 different criteria. The first one is professionalism. Again, workplace, we want to make sure that they treat it as a workplace, and they are able to treat the things that we have around us with respect, and make sure that they are ready to go. 2, we call a Taskmaster badge. And that is basically what it says. Are they on task? Are they where they're supposed to be? Are they doing the things that we want them to do? The third one is a technology badge. We live in the world of technology, but living in the world of technology can sometimes mean, is the technology being used for what we want it to be used for, or is it being used for other things? So we have a technology badge as well. We also have an ambassador badge, which is basically we are in the middle school almost the entire time, the middle school floor almost the entire time. But if they go out of our area, like when they go to the bus or some or other places within our building, we want them to carry the same kinds of things to those places as well. And I'm missing one. Can you help me, Ms. Duffy? Because I can't think of the 5th one right now.
Citizenship.
Yes, that's the one. All right, that should have been easy. Citizenship. Are they a good citizen? Are they helpful to their other students on the middle school level as well? So we're looking for both academics, and we want them to also show those behavior traits that make a good workplace. They also have the opportunity to earn Guilds badges, and these are kind of special because they kind of get to choose whether they earn them or not, and their group chooses as well. So when they're working on that special piece that they're working on in the area that they decide to make a project, are they able to help out and do the things they need to do to create the product or project that they will be doing at the end? So they will all talk together in their guild and decide what badges everybody earned, and they will explain why that is. So they get to kind of have some ownership over some of the badges too.
And so our Tuesday and Wednesday 5th graders have been able to come up and kind of hear a little bit about the same things with us. Our Friday 5th graders will also get the opportunity to do that this week. So far, we've had lots of great questions about all of these things. So hopefully the students that have come home so far that have heard our little spiel have been excited about it and maybe have been talking to you about it. Hopefully we get the same enthusiasm on Friday. And we'll go into much more detail in the fall with the students as they get transitioned with us. They're not going to remember all this over summer. Hopefully they're having fun being young people. And so we'll go back over all of this. I know the slide isn't quite readable at this point. So we'll go over all this again, send some more information home once the kiddos come up to us in August. So no worries about this. It's just a general overview. It said they've seen the same slide, asked lots of great questions. So hopefully if you have questions, you can even ask your students and they may know some answers. And then so we'll cover all of this again in great detail when they come to us. We want everybody to have the same expectations and do such a great job in middle school Sage. All right, Mr. Adamson. kicking you out of my show.
All right.
I'm going to bring up the lovely Mrs. Turner. And she's going to talk to us about how to stay up to date. So you might want to take a screenshot of this, maybe a picture if you're not already following our socials.
Yeah, so in middle school, kids really start to stop talking to their parents about what went on in their day. Their days are fine, amazing, okay. They don't really get into the details. So this is how you can help get it into the details of what goes on here at Sage. So follow us on Twitter, Facebook. You might see your student up there for our spotlight for as we've been working on that. Our website is the main North Kansas City page, and then also a Weebly that is just specifically for our middle school activities. And then Canvas is again going to be, you'll need to sign up to be a Canvas observer. If you've not done that, we will do that in the fall because right now your stuff won't work right now, but we'll do that in the fall, give you a little lesson on that. And that will be the best way to make sure you're keeping track of what's going on here. So thank you so much. We look forward to seeing these fifth graders. And again, we're trying to grow them. So they're, we expect them to advocate for themselves and communicate for themselves as well.
Yes. And another shout out to Mrs. Schaefer. She does an excellent job of keeping up with our website. She always continues to amaze me with how on top of these things she is. Someone was like, oh, we should do something with that. She's like, yeah, it's already on the website. So she does a great job with that. So I highly recommend it. You said Twitter's a great one too. That's how I see all of our student spotlights from the whole building. I know who we spotlighted in middle school, but I like to see our other Sage students. So great ways to keep up with Sage. Thank you, Mrs. Turner. I'm going to kick you out of my show, Mrs. Turner, bye. I'm going to bring on Mrs. Coe, who is going to talk to us a little bit just about making the transition. And she is coming to us live from her vehicle tonight. The joys of being a teacher mom.
Yeah, my apologies. You guys get to see the inside of my car. Wednesday nights are a very busy night at my house. 2 daughters, 2 different music lessons in 2 different locations. So I'm stuck in my car. So, all right, for a successful transition, a lot of what was already mentioned is what we recommend. Your 5th grader coming up into 6th grade, even though they're at a 6th grade center, we consider them to be middle schoolers. So we are going to have expectations for them as middle schoolers as we do our 7th and 8th graders. And a lot of that involves them being responsible and independent. And that means that we really encourage you to allow them to take charge of their work and their responsibilities. They need to be really efficient with using email through Canvas because we will communicate with them through Canvas. And so if there are any issues that they have, we want them to advocate for themselves and communicate with us to let us know when there is an issue. Instead of having them go to you to fix the problem, we really want them to take control of their own learning and issues and address the problems with us so that they are able to advocate for themselves and get the ability to start doing that for what they need once they get into high school. So gradually getting them to that point where they can start advocating for themselves is really the best thing that you can do for them to be successful as a middle school Sage student. Canvas is also great if you can be a parent observer through Canvas to kind of get an idea of what they are doing, since Ms. Turner kind of said that they don't really share a lot of what's going on. That lets you get a background view of their assignments that they are required to do. And anytime you have a question, please let us know. We are more than happy to help out and answer your questions. And we'll let you know when we need the kids to do the work and when we can fill you in on things.
All right. Nicely put, Mrs. Coe, from your car this evening, your vehicle.
It's kind of hot and warm in here.
But you are glowing and you're beautiful. So that's all that matters. Okay. I am going to advance it here to Q&A. Mrs. Coe, I'm going to take you out. You might come back. Don't go away. And see if anybody has any further questions. I do not see any in the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in there. But Mrs. Ruckel, not to put you on the spot, I did not bring you on earlier, and I want to make sure that you have the chance to join me. No one gets out of this. There she is.
Hello.
There's Mrs. Ruckel. No, didn't necessarily, I kind of forgot you on the schedule. Sorry.
Okay. It's no problem.
And took that over for you though, and he did a great job. So I wanted you to come on screen so everybody could see you as well. And just to see if we have any questions or if you had anything that you thought of as you've been observing our program tonight.
I think that my colleagues handled it pretty well. So,
We as SAGE teachers like to hear that. We did a good job. Thank you for that. Some of us, though, have been doing this a little longer and been in the building a little longer. So it's nice to get somebody who has not been in here as long feedback. Okay, folks, anybody else have anything, colleagues? Anybody else want to come back on and add anything at this point? I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. Parents, I know not everybody was able to join us live again as Mrs. Coe was in her car. We all have things going on. If you're watching this at a later time, when it's convenient for you, if you have questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to someone. It could be your 5th grade SAGE teacher now, and they can get that message to us. Again, if you visit our website, you will find our contact information on there. We are always happy to answer questions. We know this is an exciting time as your students are leaving elementary school and headed off to the 6th grade center. So the good news about SAGE is there's a comfort level because they know us. They're just coming upstairs. That's exciting for everybody. We are super excited to get our new group of students. We hate saying goodbye to our other transitioning students, our 8th graders going off to high school. We're always excited to get our 5th graders to come on upstairs with us. Some of the 5th graders I have known from previous summers of Summer SAGE, so it's always nice as they've been coming up to the learning stairs on our floor to see some familiar faces. I know they're happy and I'm happy to see them. All right. Mrs. Ruckel, anything?
I don't think I have anything else.
All right. I'm kicking in. Everybody else got to get kicked out of the show. I'm kicking you out too. Not leaving anybody out on this deal, friends. Okay. Well, I think my colleagues have all done a fantastic job. Again, I thank all of you who are watching currently or will be watching at some point. Please feel free to reach out. Like I said, I always watch these things and I think of questions later. I'm like, oh, I should have asked this. Or again, as your students have been coming home and talking to you about coming up to our floor, that might spark a conversation at home that brings on more questions. So please always reach out and contact us. We are more than happy to help. If not, we will see all of you and be in contact with you all around August. And we are really looking forward to it. Have a great evening, and we will see everybody soon. Good night.